Hi, a quick notice. So I recorded this video that you're about to watch, and I would like you to know that it's not a video where I'm going to be talking very fast and just to give you information and then you can keep it all in your mind and go live your life. It's a video where I speak slowly, I pause, and this is so that you can actually absorb, not think, but feel, let it come in. This way you will actually go much smoother through the month and through the year. Instead of having to think all the time and remember what I said, no, you don't need to remember anything. You just need to feel it, let it in to your system. That's basically much easier for you. So sit or walk, but be relaxed and go with the flow, the rhythm of my voice, and let it sink in. Like, subscribe, and share. Stay hydrated, even if it's winter. Maybe especially when it's winter, with all the heating, dry air. So, a new year, which means a year has ended. And I've seen many memes which were clearly coming from frustration, from pain. Like, I'm not signing up for 2023 until I've seen the fine print. Or, finally, the year has ended. Every year has its pluses and minuses. And it really doesn't matter which period it is, but every year has its good and has its bad. And I would like you to join me in this journey of contemplation, of feeling, and hopefully also integration. So the past few years have been different. They have been challenging for most people. Things have happened that most people didn't expect, that most people didn't believe would even be done or be possible. Yet a lot of changes have taken place. And when I say changes, I mean things that changed and will stay this way or keep evolving, but there's no going back. A simple example is that suddenly it became possible within many companies around the world to work from home, where before this was a no-go. No, we needed to have the people in the office commuting for hours and hours per day, sitting in traffic, because we needed to control them. But somehow, suddenly it was possible. And still today, where there are no lockdowns, people can work from home. I've been working from home for a while now. Long before the lockdown, I started working from home. Years ago, I had to ask special permission to work from home, and I could not do it too often because then the colleagues may also start to want to do it, and then it would be chaos and blah blah blah. Well, this is one of the changes that I consider to be a positive, because it's made it possible for people to save a lot of time, not having to travel, maybe even being able to take care of their own children, not having to pay for daycare, and many other things when it comes to flexibility. Of course, there are also changes that people didn't like. But I'm not going to get into those for now, because it makes no sense to complain about something that is not there anymore, or something that's not going to come back. I like to focus on what is possible, on what can we actually influence, on what is here and now, and what can we do with it. And this brings me to the energy of this year, and also specifically the energy of January. As you have been following me for a while, you know that I'm working with refugees. I live in Romania at this moment, so I'm working with refugees from the Ukraine. And if you have never changed countries, let alone being in a war zone, then this may be difficult for you to understand. But I can tell you, changing countries costs a lot of energy, requires your attention, requires adaptation. And if on top of that, it was not your first choice to do, you did it to be safe, or to keep your children safe, because there's a war going on, because some dumbasses are fighting over some stuff, and you're having to pay the price for it, then yeah, it's not really your choice. And what I've seen throughout the months is that an increasing number of these people are starting to focus on the opportunities that they have. Yes, they had to leave a lot behind them, but they are in a new country with new rules, with new opportunities, and they're starting to grab them. And for some of them, the war has been a blessing, because they got the chance now to make those big changes that they did not have the courage for, or that were almost impossible to make, but suddenly they became possible. This is why there is this saying, like, when a door closes, there's another one opening. It just depends, how do you look at your situation. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 20 or 30 years, and he came out a peaceful, loving man. He used that time to grow love and compassion. And we all do get challenges in our lives. And this is a continuous thing, because that's how we grow, that's how we evolve. They are life lessons. So we can focus on the struggling, but we can also persevere. And with the mentality or the viewpoint that there is a good reason for everything, but it just may take a bit longer for you to see it, you can make something good out of basically anything that comes on your path. Hell, for me, even the death of my mother when I was just 24 years old set me free. It helped me to really become independent and start to follow my own path in life. because my mother had already lost a child 2 years before I was born, and so she was very protective of me. And by being so protective, she was suffocating me. And don't get me wrong, I loved her very much. I still love her today. And I felt a lot of pain when she died. But it was a decade or two later that I realized that her death was really something that set me free. That it would have been much more difficult for me to evolve and grow to be the person who I am today if she would have been alive. So even a tragedy has within it some light. You just need to be open to see it. And this month of January is going to show us this over and over again. And being able to look at things from this perspective, as I'm describing it, will take you out of immaturity and help you expand. Because the immature will want to stay a victim, stay in the victimhood and complain and blame the outside world for what is not a pleasure, for what is not nice. But the mature person does what it can with what it has. This does not mean that you cannot cry if a loved one dies. This does not mean that you cannot feel bad when something unpleasant happens. But it's important not to stay in that energy, not to stay in the victimhood. And to keep your focus on making the best out of every situation. The funeral of my mom was a painful day. And I remember this. But what I also remember is all the loved ones who came, and some of them I hadn't seen for a decade or even two. And that was really beautiful. Another thing. I've said this video will be intuitive, just like I work. So staying in here is where you're going to be trapped and what's going to block you. Because your mind, as I said it many times, many times, works like a computer. And for a computer to make calculations, it needs information, it needs data. And the data is something from the past. But suddenly when it comes to financial products, we accept that results from the past are no guarantee for the future. Yet our mind loves to look at the past and say, okay, this is how the future will be. So what I recommend you, to get through these changing times, to deal with all these new things that no past can tell you how to deal with them. Instead of being up here, burning down your brain, getting headaches, migraines, and still failing to make something good out of your situations, go in here. Ground, meditate, just sit in silence, which is basically meditating. Connect with nature. Connect with your body, because your body is your antenna. On one hand, your body will tell you what it needs to be healthy, which helps you feel good, of course, but also is your antenna and will tell you what you need to do, when you need to do it, if you're safe, if you're not, if you need to move a certain direction or not. So be more in your body. And from there it will become more easy to be in the here and now and to be aware of what's happening around you, so that you can see the opportunities that are there. Often hidden gems within all that dark crap, which is the first thing you see, the problems, the issue, the changes, the limitations. Fun fact is that the lockdown helped me to reconnect with myself, to really connect with myself. The lockdown for many people seemed to be a big problem for the relationship, but in reality, couples got to know each other, really to know each other. Because most couples barely knew each other. Yeah, they fell in love, but they were always busy doing many things, so they didn't really know each other. And a holiday together is not the same as really living together, day and night, being together for a longer period of time, having to do the usual stuff, or having nothing to do. So be in your body, be in your heart, listen to your heart, listen to your body, listen to your soul. I already mentioned limitations. And a beautiful example I've heard is that if there would be a bridge, would you cross a bridge if there would be no ramps on the side? Would you feel safe? A high bridge with no ramps. Or would you feel safer if there would be ramps, knowing that there is a limitation, so you cannot fall off? The reason that children can get, or one of the reasons at least, can get really annoying is when the parents don't give them limitations, don't set boundaries. Because they don't feel safe, so they keep looking for those limitations. Many people cannot sleep if there are not walls and a roof around them. Many people will not feel safe sleeping in nature, in the open air, with nothing around them. Some people would love it, but most people wouldn't. So your perspective on things is crucial here. And when you take the time to be in silence, to meditate, to journal, in whatever form or shape, recording audio, writing down, recording videos, maybe even in talking to someone, you will see that your fantasy may get active. That's not a bad thing. Let that flow for a while and see what comes up. and try to bring that fantasy from here to here and feel. The more you're in silence, the better you will feel, and you will get inspiration to what you could do. This video, for example, came like this. And the last point that I would like to address for the energy of January, but also for the rest of the year, is to judge less, but instead stay in your integrity. Do what you do with integrity. And integrity means listening to yourself and feeling what is the right thing for you to do. Not what others tell you is the right thing, or what you read somewhere that is the right thing. No, what you feel is the right thing for you. And I can recommend you certain things, like I've been recommending you now a whole list of things. But you need to feel. And when you feel to do certain things, own it. Own your action. Take responsibility for your actions. This year will bring you new challenges, but at the same time, it's a year full of opportunities. So the way you will look back at the end of it will depend on what you will do with what comes on your path. If you've been listening till now, then I would like to invite you to join my Facebook group, which is called intuitiv.me, just like you see it written down here. There's also my website. And this way you'll be notified when I will be organizing a workshop that will help you. I will not say yet what it is, but it will help you on your journey. And I may even organize a course after that. It will help you further, more in depth compared to the workshop. A follow-up of what will happen in the workshop. And if you feel that with certain aspects that I've been sharing, you do need some help, you need some guidance, then contact me. If you look at the most successful people in the world, from today or from the past, they have one thing in common. All of them did have, or do have, at every point in time, at least one coach and or mentor. Because these people understood that you cannot do everything by yourself and on your own, but that guidance, mirroring, feedback can help you, or inspiration. And I do offer these services. I do offer coaching to help resolve blockages, heal trauma, deal with current situations, learning to take difficult decisions in life, learning to reconnect with yourself, to ground, getting to know yourself, who you truly are, and also mentoring, to be a sounding board, to hold mirrors to you, or simply to inspire you or listen to you. I wish you a beautiful month, a beautiful year, and for now, beautiful day/weekend. Looking forward to hearing from you, and see you in the next video.
Like, subscribe, and share.